Hey crafty friends, I am back again today to share another process video with you. So I'm working in my 52 favorites traveler's notebook again, and I'm going to use this picture of my family. So it's my husband and my two daughters. Actually last weekend it snowed like a foot, which it doesn't snow like that here very much. So we took the girls out for the first time and went sledding. So I decided, instead of just having that one sheet of paper to the left there, instead of having it plain white, that I wanted to pull out a piece of this paper from the Snow and Cocoa collection. It's quite graphic, and I thought I would stick that over on the left-hand side. So I think in the last video I told you guys that I wanted to try to use up my stash this year, which is definitely what I'm trying to do. So I decided, since this is definitely a winter themed picture, that I was going to pull out the Snow and Cocoa collection. I don't have a whole lot of it left, and I was going to try to use some of it here, because rather than it being a Christmas per se collection, it definitely has a winter theme to it. So I thought it would work well here. And the pink paper, which is from one of Heidi Swap's collections, actually matches it pretty well. So I just trimmed my photo down. I think it ended up being maybe like 2.5 by 3.5. And this is really all I have left of the papers, you guys. I have 2 full-size sheets of paper and then a few pieces of scraps, and actually some of the scraps that are in there aren't even from Snow and Cocoa. They're actually from the Hip Kit. Not this past Christmas, but the one before. They had put out their Christmas line. It matched with Snow and Cocoa pretty well. So I'm just trying to figure out what I'm doing here. So I'm going to layer my photo on top of that 3x4 card. And then I'm going to stick it onto that tiny scrap piece of paper I have with that pink with the arrows. This day was so much fun, you guys. So like I said, we had about a foot of snow. My kids had never been sledding before, so we went out to Target and we bought a couple of the little saucers and a inflatable unicorn snow tube, which was their favorite. I think maybe we used a saucer a couple times, but for the most part, everybody, including Dad, went down the hill on the inflatable unicorn. It was pretty awesome. So I'm just layering the photo on top of that 3x4 card, trimmed it down, and then I'm adding it here to that pink pattern paper. And I think it helps for it to stand out against that quite graphic black and white paper. That bear, that is from the Hip Kit collection that came out a couple of years ago in December. It is the stinking cutest thing. So I want to stick him down on that pink paper with that So Much Fun acetate piece from the Snow and Cocoa collection. And then you can see here I've got quite a bit of stickers left. I used the Snow and Cocoa collection in the December daily that I did in 2017. So I've got quite a bit of stickers and chipboard left over, and quite a bit of ephemera, but not much paper at all. So I don't know if I need to find a 6x6 paper pad of the Snow and Cocoa so I can kind of finish it up. I don't know. Now I'm getting into a whole can of worms. I'm trying to use my stash and I'm trying to buy more. So I pulled out a few different die cuts, most of them from the Snow and Cocoa collection, a few of them from that Hip Kit collection, and I actually don't end up using a whole lot that I pulled out. So I'm trying out this little tag. It says Burr, and then that little banner says Hello Snow. I'm auditioning it around on both sides of the page. I really struggle with, where am I going to put this thing? It actually does look kind of cute on the photo, but that's not where it's going to stay. So I'm going to end up sticking it down right up there is really where it is going to end up. So I'm checking out the chipboard and I'm laughing at myself after the fact because the first layout that I did in this traveler's notebook ended up being pretty darn dimensional. So when I sat down today to do this one, I thought, last time I went really dimensional. I need to remember to stay flat. This one needs to be just pretty non-dimensional. And then of course I break out the chipboard sticker sheet and I thought to myself, well, if you just remove some of the backing, it'll be pretty flat. No, it's still dimensional. And I didn't pull out any stamps to use this time. My stamp collection's not very big, and I looked through them to see if maybe I had a snowflake stamp set or something like that. Or if I had any stamp sets where maybe they were Christmas, but they weren't overly Christmas, or they had some just general winter sentiments on them, but I really don't. I have a few Christmas stamp sets, and they really are just 100% Christmas. So I didn't end up using any stamps on this layout, but I'm okay with the way it turned out outside of that. I think it turned out pretty cute. That is one of my crafty goals for this year, is to increase my stamp inventory. I guess that sounds silly, but I think it'll help getting the Felicity Jane kits this year. Every month they send a stamp set, so I'll get those. And then I've kind of made a resolution for myself. If I see one in the monthly releases, from Feature Craft, Ali Edwards, Kelly Stamps, any of those, then I'm going to buy it because I am so sad, you guys. So I told you that I'm doing Project Life in 2019. And I wanted the Ali Edwards weekly 4x6 stamp set, which, if you're not familiar, just has week, and then it's got the numbers, and then it's got a few other things like heart and hashtag and things like that. But it is in Ali's actual handwriting. It's been sold out for weeks. So I reached out to her customer service team, and you guys, they don't have any plans to restock the stamp set. I am so sad. So I wish they would reconsider. When I think of that stamp set, I think that's like an essentials or a basic piece for anybody that's maybe new to Project Life or whatever. I just think it's a really great stamp set. I don't know why they wouldn't offer it anymore. So on that teal snowflake, I have just removed probably over half of the chipboard backing on it. And I've decided to go ahead and commit, start sticking stuff down. So I went ahead and adhered the photo down with my Tombow tape runner. And then I'm going to use some Tombow adhesive to stick down that chipboard piece. Hopefully that stays. It always kind of surprises me when you remove the backing from the chipboard pieces, how the chipboard's kind of concave. It's not flat. And then I'm going to adhere that snowflake that I think also is from that Hip Kit collection from a couple years ago, directly down with some tape runner. And then I'm going to fiddle here in this bottom right corner. I liked that little icon, and then I decided maybe there's something else I can put there. So I end up pulling off another chipboard piece from the Snow and Cocoa collection and checking that out. But when I see it, when that plays back, I love it. But for some reason in the moment, I didn't. I think because I had plans to put a couple more things down there. And I thought that one, see, it looks good, but I don't think that I didn't like that little phrase sticker at the top. And the other pieces that I had in mind to layer there just wouldn't have looked quite right. And then I tried tucking it in some layers, but then realized what I'm going to do. It doesn't make sense to have it tucked in. So I am going to use that little January tag because obviously I am scrapping a picture that was taken in January. It was week 2 of the year. So I'm going to take the opportunity to use that while it is January. I'm scrapping a January picture, and I don't know the next time I'm going to pull out the Snow and Cocoa collection. Sorry about that, you guys. I have a really shisty setup for my camera, and it's kind of held down by a few bags of things, washi tape, and my embroidery floss. So when I went up to grab it, I saw the camera wiggling, so I'm sorry. I need to figure something else out. So I decided on that January sticker from that sticker sheet that it has a hole in it, so I thought I would just add some white embroidery floss to it and make a small bow. So that's what I'm doing. It's just out of frame there. So I'm going to go ahead and stick that down up there. And then I continue to look for a label. So I really like to date all my layouts. I know that eventually, right, one day, and obviously, I mean, I guess this one it's not as big of a deal because obviously it's my 2019 52 favorites, and if I go week 1, week 2, week 3, so on, it's pretty easy to figure out at least some sort of a time frame from when the picture was. But I feel like one day I'm going to look back and I'm not going to remember when pictures were taken, so I want to be sure and add the dates that way in case anybody asks or I don't remember, it'll be right there. So I'm going to go ahead and add some Tombow adhesive just behind the words on this acetate piece. And I'm going to go ahead and stick that down too. And then I decided to go ahead and stick down that cluster up in the corner. So I'm just going to punch those little holes out, and then I'm going to add some embroidery floss here too. So I'm going to layer that little banner sticker just kind of as a base to pull some of that black and white graphic print up and over to the other page. And then I'm going to thread that and tie it just like I did with the little January sticker, and I'm going to layer that just up on top of that little flag. I really love this collection, you guys. I know they re-released it this year. I did not buy any more because I had purchased the Merry Days collection to use on my December daily, and actually I wound up with a ton. I don't know what it was about December daily this year. Last year I used Snow and Cocoa and I used up a ton of it and I had so much fun. This year, I don't know what it was. Most of the pages that I made in my album are pocket pages. I think I did more traditional sort of style layouts in 6x8 last year, which probably is why I didn't use as much paper. And I also had more journaling cards and filler cards this year than I did last. We were really busy this year and work has been super busy, so I don't know if I just wasn't really in the mood or what was going on, but I have so much left from Merry Days. This collection was so much fun to use though. So I was kind of excited to pull it out and use it because it's been over a year at this point since I was playing with it. So I've pulled off a sort of light pink snowflake from that Snow and Cocoa chipboard, and I'm pulling the backing off of it so that I can lay it down also under my photo there on the bottom right, or not under, I guess put it on top. So I'm really excited about this year, you guys. So 52 favorites, I am going to stick with that. Project Life I'm going to do. I just placed an order at Persnickety for the first couple weeks of January because I'm really excited to get started on it. And I know I was thinking to myself, it's obviously more economical to wait longer and then place a bigger order because shipping is shipping no matter what. But I want to go ahead and get started on it because what I'm afraid of is if I waited until the end of January to order like a month's worth of photos, then my February kit would be getting in and then I would just be all out of whack. So I went ahead and placed an order so that I can get started on that. I also want to go back, and I think I mentioned in one of my previous videos that I wanted to go back and kind of catch up on Project Life since 2012, which is when my oldest daughter was born. It's not really going to be Project Life as I'm doing it this year, which is going to be week 1, week 2, week 3. It'll probably be more on a monthly basis, and however many layouts I get out of a month will vary because some months had a ton of pictures and some had very little, but that's whatever. I just want to get the pictures and the stories documented. So I just dated that tiny label sticker that was on the Snow and Cocoa sticker sheet, and I put that down, and I'm just thinking, is there anything else that I want to add? I really wanted to use those 4 little round stickers that spell out snow from the puffy sheet, but that's all right. And then I remembered that I had this alpha that I actually used, not that one. I'm going to put down one of those word stickers at the bottom. It's a black one at the top. It says Let It Snow. But then I'm going to pull out, it's actually the alphas I used in the last Traveler's Notebook layout that I did, because when I was looking at it, it had a ton of white asterisks, which sort of look like snowflakes. So if you saw me there, I was just looking at how bulky this Traveler's Notebook already is getting. I'm kind of terrified. If I can't stay away from Dimension, I don't know what in the heck I'm going to do. And then I also, while I had this collection out, because I'm going to end up putting it back into my Christmas box, I pulled out that February sticker, and I'm just going to leave it up there on my non-stick mat, so that in February, whether it's in my Traveler's Notebook or in my Project Life, I will remember to use that. So I'm just going to sprinkle some of these little snowflakes around. And make sure they are stuck down. And that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. Bye.